are able to, whenever we drop video content, you're able to immediately take advantage. So thank you very much. It is Wealth Unleashed webinar, our weekend dose on our journey to financial freedom. For those of you who are very passionate about creating wealth, who are very passionate about creating wealth, achieving, financial freedom, then you are in the right place. So I would also want to recommend that you tell someone to tell someone else to join this particular session. All right. In the beginning of this series, we did mention that the structure of our teachings will follow the pattern I documented in my book, Financial Freedom Master Guide. And I did mention that that whatever it is you want to, when it comes to the subject of wealth creation, financial freedom, and what have you, it's important to recognize that you need to master 3 critical phases. I'm saying that for the benefit of those who may just be hearing this for the first time, and for those who who may not, who may have adopted different templates, but this template doesn't fail. And that's why I keep referring to it again and again. I regard it as the triangle of life. For those of you who already have my book, Financial Freedom Master Guide, I would recommend you go back to that. It's the foundation, it's the beginning. That's what I established in the introduction to the book. And the first phase is about you becoming, and that is a lifelong journey. We will always be evolving, or we will always have to evolve, right, to confront different issues that will come our way, and all of that. And the issue of becoming refers significantly to the way we think, our belief system, our values. Many of us think that you are in control of your decisions. The truth of the matter is you have actually been preconditioned or reconditioned to act in certain ways, all right? And we have become, all been used as experiments. So advertisers are using each and every one of us as experiments, whether you are aware of it or not. Every day there's deluge of information, deluge of adverts here and there, and all of these things are programming us or reprogramming us at a subconscious level that we're not even aware of. And so many of the decisions you took financially, maritally, relationally, business-wise, at any level, were all at subconscious level, and you are not aware of it. And so it's important that we pay serious attention to who we are becoming. It's time to start to think about how you are thinking, all right? Unfortunately, a lot of us have self-sabotaging thought patterns, belief systems, and those are the things that are really the big issues, all right? Because they are unseen and they control the significant part of our lives, that is why they go untreated. And that's why no matter the level of principles, no matter the volume of resources that come your way, those things to define, how you deploy them, how you decide its deployment. And that's pretty much why that is so important. Because we've dwelt on that for a couple of weeks, I wouldn't want to go into that. The second phase that you have to master is about income generation, okay? The first phase is about personal transformation, who you are becoming, right? It's about being. The second phase is about income generation, planning, and application. This is where we talk about doing, what you have to start doing. And we said at the beginning of this particular phase that you can't manage or multiply money you have not yet made, all right? So it's important we recognize that we need to make money. And one of the important skills, right, one of the important skills we need to develop, right, is our ability to sell. Our ability to sell. It's very, very important. Our ability to communicate. Now, there are no artificial intelligence that can replace this skill, right? So it's important we develop our ability to sell, all right? There are a lot of technologies, AI tools now that are replacing certain skills. But you see, your ability to sell depends significantly on your human connection, emotional connection with other people, being where they have been, all right? So being, relatable. And that's essentially why no AI, no learning machine will be able, to replace this skill. So it's an important skill that every one of us must embrace and develop if you want to create wealth. If you want to make a lot of money, you must learn the art and signs of sales. Please take that from me. And the interesting thing is that whatever it is you've done from cradle that you will do till grave will be selling. And the degree of how wealthy you become will be dependent solely on the scale. All right. This is why it's so important. So the last 3 weeks, we've been touching on certain facts for ultimate sales success. All right. So let's quickly take a cursory look at a few more, and then we'll wrap up for today. If you still remember any that we covered in the last 2 weeks, feel free to share. Let me be sure that I have people who have been paying attention. Please let's know if you've been paying attention. Can you give me any of those points I've shared in the last 2 weeks? I'm with you here right now, and I'm waiting to hear from you. Except some of us are not taking notes, and I do not want to do any recap because of my time and because I also respect your time. Let me just jump right into this. If you missed out on previous editions, I recommend you go watch the replay. It's available on my YouTube channel at Oladipupo Clement. All right, so we want to continue on the critical facts, things you must bear in mind, things that you must internalize, in order for you to succeed in sales. I make sales. That's the number one skill. And I'm just grateful for how God organized it for me to be introduced to sales early. All right. So I started my sales career selling books, to sell books in a country or in a continent where they don't place value on reading. It's a tall order. And that automatically stretched my capacity. Also helped me to also develop my voracity for knowledge. It also helped me to develop my consulting practice, my counseling skill as well. All right. So because the more you know, the more the better you are at knowing, or the more you know, the better you will be at performance. And if you know better, you always do better. Okay. But even beyond that, you're also able to guide other people because you know a little better. All right. And that's what will give you the edge, will give you the advantage. So that helped me a lot. So I've trained a lot of people on this subject matter. I have done quite a lot. So yes, I'm seeing some points coming in. Excellent. Mr. Adek, good to see you. Money follows assets in business. Money follows value in sales. All right. So I did mention that money actually follows investments. So money follows assets in investments, but money follows value and trust in sales. The more valuable you become, the more trustworthy you become, the more money flows to you in sales. So you are not going to be making enough and sufficient sales if you are not valuable, if you are not bringing value to the table, and if you are not trustworthy. Okay, so those are two critical elements. Thank you for that. I deeply appreciate it. So let's proceed for today. Number 11. So we are number 11 right now. Selling requires targets to deliver results. Just like a football match, if you don't set goals, you don't score goals. That's exactly the way sales is. All right. So you will never know the loser or winner except there was a goal set in the first instance. All right. So it's important. The only way you can measure progress and measure performance is that you set goals. And that's why one of the habits of sales champions is goal setting. All right. One of those core habits of sales champions is goal setting. If no one is setting goal for you, then set goal for yourself. After all, you have objectives, you have obligations, you have aspirations, you have things that you need to fulfill. You have the obligation to fulfill. All right. So if nobody set targets for you, set one for yourself. All right. And this is so important. So in order to make sales, you need to set targets, clear, specific targets, like we call it SMART goals, SMART targets. All right. S there represents specific, M there represents measurable, A there represents achievable, R there represents realistic, and then T there represents time bound. Time will not permit me to go deep into that in subsequent sessions. Within this second phase, I'll be speaking to the subject of targets, goal setting, the various concepts that will enable us to succeed, when it comes to this issue of setting targets. Let me just put this out. One of the things I've come to realize is that a lot of us overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year, but underestimate what we can achieve in 5 years. Don't forget this, right? A lot of the times, the reason why we set bogus goals, unattainable goals, is simply because we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years, but overestimate what we can achieve in 1 year. So we set far more bogus goals than we have ever accomplished in a single year, and then underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years. So the best way to set goals, and I'm putting this out so that just to give us some tips to start to help for implementation, is ensure that you set goals with the mind that it will take you 5 years. For example, I have been on YouTube since 2015 or 2014. I can't remember exactly when I went on YouTube, but I know it's been quite a long time. But I recently found out that many of the things I've been doing, and I'm committed to this. This is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I'm going to continue to coach people. I'm going to continue to serve people with my insight, with my knowledge, with my experience. That's what I'm going to continue to do the rest of my life. So if I do all that and there is nobody that can watch the replay, then I'm making a mistake. And so that's what YouTube is meant for. And I realized that I've hosted well over, without exaggeration, just staying modest and being conservative, I've hosted well over 250 webinars, seminars, conferences, what have you. I've hosted way more than 250. But I'm just being conservative, all right? Over the last 11 years alone. All right, so, and where can people go to watch those things? And I realized that my YouTube channel would have been a very fantastic place. So guess what? I also found out as I went on that, people even make money from YouTube, having YouTube channels. So I'm not doing this just from the standpoint of making money. I'm using it as a platform for serving my community, serving my world. But I realized that even in doing that, I can still make money. I said, okay, good. So what are the potentials in this? And I'm really studying around that. I'm doing a lot of research and finding out a couple of things. One of the things I found out is that the moment you have a certain number of people, a certain number of subscribers, and I'm saying this in all sincerity, for those of you who may just be watching and say, you mean that is true? Yes. My objective is different, right? Yes, I would love to make some money because I understand that there are people who are making money. But then it is not what fuel is. What I'm doing now is what I've been doing all my life, okay? So I realized, okay, so when your channel reaches 1,000, subscribers, and then you have 4,000 hour watch time, right? YouTube will start paying you money for, adverts that people see when they watch your videos. When I saw that, I said, okay, good. That's not a bad idea at all. That's a good one. Okay, if that is the case, then let me just continue to do this. And guess what? I didn't set a 1 year goal for this. I just told myself, just keep being yourself, but just ensure that every week, all your content are uploaded on YouTube. Just keep doing it, and we set a 5-year goal. In fact, for me, for the team, it was 10-year goal. So where that money, because this is not my primary source of income, okay? I have my main business, businesses I do, but this is just my own contribution to the world. So for the next 10 years. So you see, I already set my mind on 10 years and not within the next 90 days. The reason why a lot of people quit before the seed begins to germinate essentially is because they set their mind on short-term results, short-term gains, not on long-term gains. So I gave myself long-term commitments and then look forward to long-term results. Now, at the end of the day, what matters to me is that lives have been transformed, lives have been impacted for good, and people are able to make better decisions, superior decisions. So that there's a platform that can be used, that I can monetize, that can help me monetize, that is just secondary. Are you getting it now? So, and listen to me carefully, that could also be your own primary purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's a secondary objective. For me, the primary objective is just to dish out knowledge, empower people. And let me be honest with you, the more I do this every week, the better I become. The better a teacher, the better a communicator I get, all right, I become. And that's also a part of the becoming process, all right? Like I've shared time and again, a lot of times people focus too much on the outcome, that they get discouraged when they begin to go through the process. What I recommend people do, especially when you are setting sales target, focus on the process, focus on the science, look at some of the key things, and then look at the arts too. So the graphics, design, the video content, the quality, and all of those things. You want to pay attention to that. You want to keep improving on that. But you also want to look at, okay, what are you dishing out there? What is the return on your investment in terms of what you are putting out there compared to what you're getting? And then if you can do more of that, then you can increase your results. So those are key things that you need to begin to measure when you are setting goals and you are setting targets for sales. I hope that is very clear. So one of the things I found out that YouTube does is the fact that the 55% of the ad budget from the advertisers is paid to you, the content creator, and 45% of the ad budget goes to YouTube. So YouTube actually makes more money, all right, because they own the platform, but they give you 55% of the deal, and then they take 45%. Now, imagine over 1 million YouTubers that exist around the world. And then there are several people who have millions. In fact, there are YouTubers who have 75 million, subscribers, who have, 100 million subscribers. I mean, it will shock you, right? And you imagine how much YouTube will be making, and you also imagine how much they also have made from YouTube. But that's not even the key point. The point I'm trying to make is, don't underestimate what you can accomplish in 5 years. Rather, underestimate what you can accomplish in 1 year. Pace yourself when you are setting targets. Pace yourself and give yourself a long-range goal, and tell yourself, I'll keep doing something daily. I'll continue strengthening it weekly, and then I'll strengthen it monthly, and then on and on like that, and all of that. I have a friend, a consultant friend of mine, who was hosting a particular program every day. During COVID, or shortly, it was during COVID. He was hosting that program every day. All right. I have another one who was doing it every week. And of course, because the nature of my work is both field and all of that, so I just couldn't combine the two. But as I began to delegate some of my key roles in the organization that I was privileged to start, I realized, okay, I could now begin to free up a little time to do this. But even with that, it's still packed. This month alone, I'm hosting, 3 major programs, right, that are running, and I'm hosting guest speakers, right? 3 major running concurrently or running the same month, so you have to have built capacity to do that, right? But I would never have done that a year ago, or 2 years ago, or even 3 years ago. In fact, 5 years ago, it would not have even been within my radar. But it's a proof, a reflection of who I am becoming and the capacity I'm building with time. So please give yourself the time to grow. Give yourself the time to build capacity, and always measure your goals in the light of your capacity and the room you have created. I've spent so much time on this alone, but I hope you get the point. If you get the point I'm making, please drop the comments. Drop the comments. Drop the comments. Drop the comments. If you're really getting value from this, drop a comment. Just drop a comment. Let me know what you're thinking or what you're feeling. Are you feeling me? Let me just know that you can hear me and you can feel me, because I am sharing deeply from my heart. I just want to share what I believe will also be of value to you. There are a number of you on this call also who are, you are already doing this, all right? It may be in another area of expertise, all right? And feel free, you can share that, all right? You can also use that as a platform. I had to go for it. I had a coach, a YouTube coach. I had to enroll for his program. I had to buy books, so there are many things that happen that is responsible for what people do. So don't just copy people without understanding what is backing it all up. So, but in setting targets, understand that you don't overestimate what you can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what you can accomplish in 5 years. Rather, expand your vision for 5 years, your target for 5 years, and just shorten it for the first 1 year, and put it in a bite size. In fact, when we started out putting out content on YouTube, my initial plan was just weekly, just do something weekly, and that was what we stuck with. After 3 months, I realized, okay, I think I can add to this. We call it habit stacking, right? I think I can add one more to this. Okay, let us do this. Okay, I think I have more capacity to add this. Okay, let's add this, and that was it. And that's it. So, all right. So number 12. Selling is a game of numbers. Selling is a game of numbers. Selling is a game of numbers. When setting your financial target, okay, it is important to determine how many people will have to buy what you are selling, the amount they will buy it, how many people, do you have in your network or within your circle of influence to achieve that. So when you are setting financial target, you want to match it with what is the price of the product, how many people will need to buy it to fulfill that objective, and all of that. So this is very important. I'm going to touch on that in a sequence. So I don't want to jump ahead, but this is just some critical facts that will help you. Sometime later, I'll be sharing with you how to achieve your sales target. Later on, I'll also be talking to you about how to build networks and all of those things. So let's not rush it. Take it precept upon precept, line upon line. Okay. Number 13, selling is driven by commitment and not just by involvement. Selling is driven by commitment. There has to be a commitment that, it doesn't matter the volume of rejections that I suffer, I will stick at it. Anyone who rejects me, it's just their personal opinion, right? You don't get upset because somebody turns you down or stop picking your calls or do not return your calls. No. You are in business, right? So that's what passion does. Passion defies the odds, right? Even when you don't get rewarded in the interim, and even for the long haul, you don't give in, all right? What keeps you going? This is why passion is so important. When people say, I'm also an advocate that, okay, you have to sometimes you do things are not necessarily passionate about, but because they produce revenue, because you have to fulfill obligations, right? You have to do that because there are many passionate people who are frustrated. I know a lot of people who are passionate, but very frustrated because they are not generating revenue. And you don't spend passion, right? Until your passion is monetized, it will not fulfill obligation. So I know a lot of people who are a shadow of themselves, but they were one time passionate people. And I nearly got to that point too, because you eventually realize that you just feel burnt out, you feel fully spent, and then there's no reward, nothing coming to you. You reward everybody, you take care of everything, but nothing comes back to you. So I had to make a lot of adjustment to say, okay, sorry, this is what I do for impact. This is what I do for business. And then what I do for impact, I will continue to do whether or not people pay or give me, and I'll put premium, I put price on what I do for business. All right. So there are times when there's an alliance or a connection between what I do for business and what I do for passion. Sometimes there are things I do for passion that have become businesses, right? It's what I've been able to delineate what I'm doing for business from what I do for passion. Okay, so if I'm doing community service and I'm volunteering in church or starting an NGO, I'm not expecting any reward, right? When I'm doing a business, I'm expecting something. Okay, so but you want to create that, and that's why I always tell people, especially young people who are impact oriented, which is not a bad thing, but you must understand, particularly for young people who may be watching this video, understand that you don't start NGO first. You start profit making. before you do non-profit, start profit making first. All right. That profit making is what will fund your non-profit. A lot of people have gotten it all mixed up. You do non-profit and then you start putting pressure on everybody and you say nobody's supporting your vision. No, nobody will buy into your vision except you have bought into it fully yourself and are prepared to go it alone, right? So you must consider starting a business, a profit-making venture, and that will fund your NGO before you progress. So this is very, very important. Okay, very, very, very important. Okay, so commitment is very, very key. Commitment is very key. Let me quickly state this. I heard this particular illustration. It drove the message home. And I often ask my team, both in business and ministry, I ask them from time to time this thing, for you to eat bacon, all right, the chicken that you ate was committed. But in order for you to eat fried egg or boiled egg, the chicken was only involved. Now, in order for you to eat bacon, the chicken had to be laid to rest, had to be sacrificed, had to shed blood. But in order for you to take egg, it only was involved. And that's the secret between those who make it the most in business and those who do not. So, and the same applies to sales. You have to give it, because listen, people can sense your commitment and they can sense whether you are one leg in or one leg out. They can sense it, all right? I've thrown different challenges at my people, at different points in time, tests, all sorts of tests. And some of them failed, some of them passed the test, and I just keep quiet and I say, okay, this one has this, okay, that one, okay, no problem. So you want to make it big in sales. It is a question of commitment, not just involvement. Things will go wrong. See, the best of plan can still fail. The best of strategy can still fail. I was just listening to one old video of Steve Jobs, where he said there were 90 full days to bankruptcy as a company. And they were not sure of what would happen next. He said, but one thing was clear. He said they were all committed. He said at the point he was even asking himself, why are you all still here? Why are you all still here? And it's a question of commitment. And listen to me carefully. If you run an organization, you need to do the commitment test, right? You need to do the commitment test. A part of the Bible, and I love a lot, that often reflects commitment and why it's so important for any vision that you want to pursue. And this is a bonus for those who are in business, is the fact that most people who go into business, right, sometimes go into business for personal gains. And while there's nothing wrong with it, it must never be the driving force, right? If you put your personal gain ahead of value and solution to the market, you will get frustrated and you get stuck in the middle, and you most likely will shut down that business and go back and looking for a job, right? But if you are fully committed, even when you meet with brick wall, you will always be thinking of a way out. So where was I going with this? The key thing is this: commitment is what makes the difference. Nothing else. Commitment is really what makes the difference, because you will encounter brick wall. You will, in the journey of life, it's not a straight graph. All right. So you will experience setbacks, you will experience betrayals, you experience defaults, you experience all sorts. And those are the things that make us who we are ultimately, whether better or bitter. All right. So I just felt I should mention this because you will not succeed in anything you are not committed to. You won't. If you're just involved, it means that if it succeeds, fine. We are in together. So people will only be telling you they are in it together with you as long as they still get benefits from it. The moment the chips are down, they are gone, right? So you also want to test that from time to time. If you run a business, this is so important. If you run a business, I have a gentleman. It's not a staff of LifePage, for example. very good friend also. And there are things the gentleman has done that when I think back, I say, no, this guy is not just involved in this. This guy is committed to this. The commitment is just resolute. It's unequal, unparalleled. You know, we were having a meeting a while back, and I was telling them, I said, that gentleman, please don't even joke with him. And we have several people like that. There are several people like that. So in our organization, we are very blessed with very committed people who are just sold out, who are in, not for what they will get. Yes, they get something, but it's not just for that alone. So they've been a part of the big vision. So I could relate well when Steve Jobs said that there were 90 days to bankruptcy, right? So I could relate very well, particularly when you still see that people are committed to something that you can't see the next meal, you can't see the next income, but they're still there. And you know, man, these guys are in it for the long haul. And it's an encouragement. It's an encouragement when you have people who have your back. It's very, very big, right? So not just involvement. So you want to succeed in sales as a person, or you want to succeed in sales as a business, commitment. You are not one leg in, one leg out, right? We've been through many phases where we had the options, you know, at the beginning of the business, at different stages of the business. We've been there where it's like, okay, now what are the options? We either win or we win. Failure is not one of those options. That is our commitment. Failure is not one of those options. We rather lose money than lose our name. That's how serious the commitment is. You know, so that's how it's like, okay, you've built this much. Okay, can you sacrifice it for a bigger vision, for the next bigger thing? Absolutely. That's commitment, right? Where you will not, because when people are just involved, they don't mind sacrificing a good name for money. And that's pretty much the way you know, right? They don't mind sacrificing a morsel of bread for equity, right? You have an opportunity to either pick salary or pick equity, and somebody will still settle for salary. And it tells you whether it's involvement or commitment. So I throw out these challenges from time to time just to see, just to check, you know, and all of those things. And it's important that you do the same for yourself first, all right? Are you in this just for what you benefit, or are you in this for what value you're going to bring, right? You have to evaluate this from time to time, because it is not the first time you make a sales proposition or pitch that you will get positive response. I've been on different transactions or conversation that's supposed to lead to sales for months, but I have not given up. In fact, let me even tell you my secret. Let me even tell you a secret. How I'm not boring you guys. Please let me know if I'm boring you. One of the decisions I have taken is I'm going to serve wherever I have opportunity to serve, whether or not they buy from me. It is, you know, you need to lift up the pressure, both from yourself and from the person who wants to buy. That's all. I'm not reaching out to you because I must make this sale by force. I'm reaching out to you because I must add this value by force. And guess what? Even if you don't do business with me at the end of the day, I'm still a phone call away if you need any counsel or guidance on anything. If you can get to that point, sales will become a ready thing that will happen to you. A lot of us, because we demonstrate desperation in our sales presentations and communication, often puts people off. So, but if you can get to the point where you can tell people, sorry, whether or not you buy from me, we are still in relationship, and you can reach out to me. And it lifts up a huge burden. It's like if you tell your team members, for example, you run a business and you tell your team members, guys, whether you are with me or you resign, we are still best of friends. It doesn't change anything. You have no idea what that will do to you psychologically. And it will also prepare you that, okay, what is the worst thing that can happen? If this person leaves, that person leaves, that person, what am I going to do? You know, immediately. So it's critical that we begin to look at things from this angle. But essentially what we're saying is that selling is driven by commitment. All right? I've gone into different things again. Number 14, passion is the secret weapon of sales. Passion is the secret weapon of sales. Passion is audible, is visible, and it's contagious. You cannot be passionate and not know it. You cannot be passionate and people will not sense it. All right? It is the fuel for every vision. Passion is the fuel for every vision. It does not matter how expensive a car is. All right? If it lacks fuel, it goes nowhere. And that's what it is. No matter how laudable a vision is, if you lack passion, you can't bring it to pass. Right? So passion is the secret weapon of sales. People will sense it that no, this guy is sold out. This guy is fully in it. It's not just for the money, right? You want to do something that people can know that you will make money. Even you know that you will make money, but it is more than this money. Because let me be honest with you, that's the way this work I do. That's the way it is for me, right? It is more about it. The level of fulfillment it brings to me is unquantifiable. You have no idea. And that's where passion plays a critical role. And this is what will keep you going, even in rough times and tough times. Okay? This is so important. So it's the secret weapon of sales. People will pick it. They will hear it even when you did not say it. They will see it even when you did not show it. All right? I've been through all sorts. Right? Whether it's business angle or ministry angle, I've been through all sorts. But this is what keeps me going. All right? You don't know a general by his stars. You know them by their scars. But it is your passion that pulls you through the moments of scars, the moments of pain, the moments of treachery, and all of that. It's passion that pulls you through. It's passion. All right. So if you have to try to convince people that you are passionate about what it is you are doing, it's a proof you have lost your passion. All right. That's the proof that you have lost your passion. Finally, for today, and wrapping up this particular session, if you cannot buy what you are selling, then don't bother selling it. You have to be sold on what you are selling. You have to be sold on the vision, sold on the product, sold on the idea, sold on the service before you can transmit that same understanding, that same passion, that same value that you know you will derive from that product to other people. I love what one of my clients said. He said, I will not buy that place because I will not live there. I will not buy that land there because I will not live there. And I said, okay, I know you will not live there, or you will not buy the place because you will not live there, but you can buy there because somebody else can live there. He said, I said, because you don't have to buy where you live. You don't have to buy the same location where you live. We have properties in Abuja. I don't live in Abuja. We have properties in Port Harcourt. I don't live in Port Harcourt. But people live in Port Harcourt. So you can buy a place because other people will buy it because they need to live there. All right? So I gave that perspective. And I said, okay, so where you are right now today wasn't where you are 10 years ago. She said, that's true. I said, so, but there are people who are where you were 10 years ago. And what you say you will not buy is where they can buy before. So you need to be sold. As a salesperson, you need to be sold on the product. You need to be sold. You need to have bought into it, both emotionally and most times I would recommend you buy it physically. In fact, when you want to study out successful people in your space, people who are selling similar products or complementary products, go and find out the secret. You realize that the one way to find out the secret of their own sales is to actually buy their products, right? To see, okay, what's the sequence? What's the flow? What's the workflow? After you buy, what is the after service process that they have in place? It will also give you insight into what you must put in place in your own case, right? For a low ticket product, it will be a lot easier. For a high ticket product, maybe a bit daunting, all right? For you to say, oh, let me go and test and know how much, and they are selling it for 200 million. Then you want to go and test the market with 200 million. So that may be a bit difficult. But the point I'm trying to make in a nutshell is the fact that you need to be sold. If you can't buy what you are selling, then don't bother selling it, right? In sales, perception is stronger than reality. So you can't look poor and sell a rich product successfully. So you have to look the past. You have to not look the path alone, but also show the path and go the path. Okay. So when people see you, say, okay, no, this guy is going in this. He knows what he's talking about, right? So this is very, very important in sales, right? There's a level to which you will have bought into a product that people begin to think that you are the owner of the company. And that is exactly when you will know you will be successful in sales. But the moment you are still speaking about a product or service as though it is their company, you have not yet bought into it. And that's how to know whether or not you'll be successful in sales. Okay? And this is so, so crucial and so important. I want to believe this has been of tremendous value to you. If it has been, leave a comment. And if you have any question, also drop your questions and we'll be taking them in the next session, in the next week. If time permits, we can take them right away. If you have any question, please let's ask those questions right now. All right, so I'm waiting to hear from you guys. Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, Mr. Adejonwo, I see that you've taken notes. So this is good. This is good. Good one. Thank you, Mr. Marvelous Alabi. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tobiloba Ojo. Good to see you again. All right. So in the absence of any questions, then we'll call it a day. So next week, I'll take you through the 5-step process for converting suspects into raving fans. And it's important in the journey of sales. You want to make sales, you need to understand this 5-step process. You need to understand the stages at which people are in your relationship with them. It will go a long way in helping you to convert more readily and more easily. All right. And it will help you to know where to graduate people to. So I'll talk more on that next week. God bless you, everyone, and then see you